Hi fellow designers and welcome to Design Talks channel. I'm Vahan. I work as a designer for more than a decade, and today we're going to start a series of videos about design system. During the first video, I'm going to briefly explain what a design system is and why all companies need them, no matter if they are an early stage startups or established companies, and how you can possibly pitch and promote the idea of having a design system among your colleagues. So during the next videos, I'm gonna show you how to create your own design system from scratch. There are quite many sources on this topic, but still, as a person who worked with design system and created 2 of them, third is in process, I'll do my best to explain them as easy as possible. So let's get started. So what really is a design system? There are many definitions or answers which are very different depending on who you ask, but the way I see it, design system is not just a library, it's not just a set of elements, styles, and guides. In fact, it's something similar to a commandery point, where the designers see the whole scope of problems related to the whole product, not a single feature. And from that commandery point, designers create, organize, and document elements, guides, interactions, and solutions in order to solve all problems in cohesive and consistent way. So what does it mean? So the way we designers usually work is we solve problems mostly one by one, right? We may design a page or even a whole flow, but still the digital product is not just a set of pages and flows, right? It's a huge ecosystem, and the only place, let's say, to set, rule, and develop that ecosystem design is your design system. Okay, just a simple example. You have a mobile app that has tons of pages, and all those pages have titles. The title text is set to, let's say, 34 points like in native iOS, but at some point your team decided to add some new language, like German, for example, where, as we know, the words usually are way longer than in English. So if your design team rules the design from that commandery point, which design system is, the way you will do it, you'll take all app screens and pages and see what is the appropriate size for page title in order to match German language, right? It may be like 28 points, for instance. That's your choice. You may change it for German only, right? You create a new style like title German, or just will change the page title everywhere in your app. That's it. But still, as you see, you solve a global design problem which is impossible to do when you think of design only when you design pages and flows. Okay, why you should think of design system as that commandery point, as I said? Because, as mentioned, design system should include systematic, coherent solutions for your products or company's problems. So instead of blindly copying design system from the great examples that I'm going to show you, like for example Shopify's Polaris, just ask yourself what problems I need to solve for my product and what I need for that. Maybe your product is completely different from Shopify. Your product may be something, for example, similar to a game, so you need your own approach to a sound library. You should organize it in order to match animations and that kind of things. So again and again, just asking yourself what problems we need to solve and how, what sort of problems we may have in the future. That itself might lead you to components that you need to include in your design system, okay? Now let's talk about the benefits design system may bring to your company and why, as mentioned, all companies should have it regardless of being early stage startups or established companies. The first thing, have you ever wondered what is the most important thing in UX? A lot of people say is intuitiveness, and they're wrong. I don't say that it's not important, but still there is a thing that is even more fundamental, and it's consistency. Yeah, no matter how great your UX is, it always takes new users some time to learn your product. Intuitiveness makes that learning path shorter, way shorter, while consistency makes the existence of that path overall possible. You know, if your product consists of disconnected solutions which one by one may seem intuitive, still the learning path might be very hard. We need a design system, first of all, to keep our product consistent. By zooming out the whole product, we can better observe all elements, components, interactions, and brand elements, keep them coherent or differently according to their features, okay? The product which may appear on several platforms are impossible to design without this commentary point. It's not a big secret that all designers may have their own unique approach on the design. Plus, bigger companies may have several design teams located in different parts of the world. To make their collaboration possible, the company has to develop a very detailed and elaborated design system. Besides being a commentary point, design system is also kind of a prompt on how are we solving different problems, how have we solved similar problems before, right? By saying detailed, I mean it should contain everything from very small elements library up to high-level descriptions on how the company overall approached the design. In my opinion, a great design system is a design language that is capable of giving the necessary answers and hints, and at the same time not limiting the team's creativity, because the whole design process shouldn't become something too robotized and boring. Besides easing collaborations between us designers, design system may increase the efficiency of our work with our other team members too. First of all, developers, right? If we have everything set up from small repetitive elements up to size guides, it may be way easier for them to read the design and develop it faster and more efficiently. Like giving feedback may be way easier too. For example, instead of saying, hey, I had 24 points text here in my design and you've made it 20 pixels, you can simply say, hey, change title 5 to title 4. That's it. Besides, there's a little chance developer will mix the things up if everything is well set up and named even, right? So in order to make designers out of everyone and be their sort of creative coach, which is, by the way, what we product designers should really do, we have to, first of all, develop the design system, the design language, and train people how to use it. The first thing you have to always remember, any company, any digital product, especially a startup, is something like a human body, an organism, So no matter how hard you try at the very beginning to develop the best ever design system, you have to update it or even completely change it one day. Sometimes some visual updates that may seem a big deal to the user are in fact very rapid changes in the design system. For example, if your team already has a set up design system, from that commentary point, you can just change the corner radius from 5 to 10 or change the hero color, and that's it. And that was a small example, but that may work for a way more high-level things as well. Also, being aware of your company roadmap, you may already think of updating the design system to match the upcoming problems too, which is, fantastic. So again, if you already have a design system, you'll be able to avoid inventing the wheel all the time, Products may contain different functions and flows, so some of them are just the same, others may have some minor differences, and the rest may be completely different. So having design system will help you save a lot of time and concentrate your whole energy on solving completely new problems. Repetitive components, libraries, and patterns are priceless time savers. Like prototyping, for example, should be a rapid thing on one hand and high fidelity on the other. So without patterns, you won't be able to make it. A lot of not very design-centric companies are afraid of building a design system because it may seem too much time-consuming for them. The truth is that, it may be some kind of time-consuming, again, depending on the type of your product, but still, design system is something that companies build down the road, So you may start from the most basics, which may be the component patterns, and move forward on making it more and more detailed. Okay, now let's very briefly walk through some great examples. I'm gonna do it very quickly, and you'll sort of homework is to observe them more carefully. Okay, while I'm recording the next videos on how to make your own design system from scratch. Okay, as remember, before going through any design system, we should ask ourselves why this specific product overall needs design. What problems should this design system solve? So if you can find the other design systems of other products you use, that would be great as well. So first, let's check the design system of these two, and it's of course Google Material Design and Apple Human Interface Guide, because the answer on the question, well, what sort of problems overall these design systems are solving is very, very interesting. They are the design system of huge platforms, and of course it's pretty tough to create a design system for like tons of different products. You see that first of all, they have like introduction, they have navigation and car, pretty much everything set up. Like introduction, material studies, these three things are basically how they like high level things on how they approach the design. And as you can see here, they have navigation, color, typography, interaction, like gestures. And in the human interface design, they like divided it into 4 parts according to Apple platforms. Let's click on iOS. And here it is. As you see, everything is clearly like documented, and here we have like pretty much everything, like user interaction. It's like divided into like some sections, you see, and like I don't know, visual design is divided into like branding, dark mode, launch, like terminology, typography. You can see all the typography rules, read them. And yeah, by the way, these design systems are huge, so you have to read them permanently, like have them open always when you design something for those platforms. Now let's move forward to a design system that is made for a specific product. And one of the best examples of it is Shopify's Polaris. I personally don't use Shopify too much, but still the Polaris is a great example of a very well organized design system. As you can see, they divide it into content guides, design guides, components guides, experiences. Let's click on design guides, and oh my god, see how it's well organized. You know, that's got pretty much a lot of things like colors, accessibility, typography. You see, so icons. Fantastic. And as a product for online retailers, it also has some data visualization, which like your product may not need, right? The other great example is like Spotify's design, but still it has some cool things like stories, tools, basically more high-level things. And the same is like with Airbnb, they're basically showing how they approach the design. So, but a great example of patterns library is MailChimp patterns. So I will highly recommend you to observe it very, very carefully, because any like design system creation process first starts with creating these patterns. Okay, so I'll put the links below in the description so you can observe all of them, and I will record the next videos on how to make your own design system from scratch. So as you see from the outside, a design system may seem like some set of guidelines and components, patterns, and icon library, but it is way more, again, serious than that. Think of it as design commandery point first, and you build and develop a great design system that may help you to design better without creating any artificial restrictions. So that's it for today. Hope you like the way I described the design system. If you did, give this video a thumb up, write some comments if you do not agree, and yeah, subscribe to see the next videos on how to make your own design system from scratch. I'm already working on it, and as a person who already made 3 design systems, I'll share my own tips on how to do it better. So see you in a week or 2. Bye.